We've seen some terrible, terrible situations happen when clients, either they don't have a will or power of attorney prepared at all, or they've done their own power of attorney or will, and it just has some terrible consequences. And I can just tell you a little bit about an example that happened to one of our clients. She didn't have a power of attorney. She's on our way to sign legal documents for a house that they've just sold. They get in an accident. Her husband has a stroke, and he's unable to sign the documents. They're not able to close on their property deal because he can't sign the documents, but it gets worse. The government gets involved, and they say this person has no capacity, and they need money to survive. So if you sell this house, us, the government, are going to take half of that money, and we're going to keep it on his behalf to help make sure he gets fed. Well, of course, 6 months later, he gets better, he recovers from the stroke, and the government is still controlling all the strings. So that's a very good example of why you would want to get a power of attorney. And that similar situations can happen for a will. The main reasons why you would want to have a will made would be, the first one would be to make your wishes known. Many times people, they pass away and there are certain things that they want or certain ways they want their estate dealt with, and it just isn't clear. And you basically are left with your next of kin or somebody else picking up the pieces and trying to figure out what your wishes were. If you have children who are under the age of majority, meaning they're under 18, it's another very good reason why you should have a will, because in your will you can actually put who you would like for your guardians to be of your children. And this will have significant sway with a judge if something were to happen to you and you were to pass away. When you pass away without a will, there are some very difficult situations when you're applying to the courts to have somebody deal with your estate. And so what it does is it makes what we call probate, which is the application to courts. It makes it much easier, and it makes it much quicker as well to go through that process. Finally, another reason why you should have a will is if you have any specific gifts that you want to pass on. If you have a hot rod from the 70s that you want your grandchild to have, something like that, that's never going to be dealt with in the will, and most likely that specific gift is going to be sold and made into cash, and the grandchild will be left out entirely. Why you should get a power of attorney, if I go back to the example that I gave, something can happen to you. You're not in a situation to make the decision for yourself, and there will be some real problems, like in my example, where the government can come in and start making decisions for you. You lose control, and that is true with both power of attorney and a will. And if you pass away, there's an issue of who is going to be the guardian of your children. In your will, you can write who you'd like to be the guardians of your children, and it's a very important factor when the courts are looking at this kind of situation of who you thought would be best to take care of your children and who should be guardians. And so when the courts or judges are making this decision, they'll look at your will and in almost all circumstances appoint that guardian. It's very important to have a lawyer prepare these documents, and the main reason is that we really clearly understand how the law and estate law operates. There's various examples that we've had in our practice where somebody's made their own will, and it's left out somebody, it hasn't considered the legal implications or effect of what they're writing, and basically it doesn't end up expressing their wishes or actually what they wanted. It expresses what was written in the will, but it doesn't have the effect that person wanted before they passed away. Another reason why you would want to have a lawyer prepare your will is you're just asking to have a court challenge or all the parties to come and fight over it. And I think that would be the last thing that anybody would want when they pass away, is to start a fight between all of their family members and have, thousands and thousands of dollars of legal costs expended because of that reason. On our website, you'll also find a video entitled "What to Do When a Person Dies Without a Will." That addresses what happens when you do not have a will or a properly prepared will, often resulting in lengthy and costly litigation that you'll want to avoid.